Uh, Good evening, friend, viewers, lovers of the channel. I greet you all and I bring you good tidings. Yes, I know it's been a while and I'm so sorry that we're just starting up and we've not really picked up. So that's why we're still taking it easy. This is an upcoming channel. So if this is your first time here, I just want to implore you to be patient with us because we are trying to put some things together to make the channel a lively one and to ensure a good presentation that will be to your own enjoyment, entertainment, and liking. Now, if you look at the title on your screen, uh, it says something about Tobi Amusan, the latest sensation all over the world. Uh, the young lady who just created a new record in the 100-meter hurdles. Now, presently, as we are talking, I would say she's a Nigerian. But if I should say it the right way, I would say she's a Yoruba nation citizen. But that's in the making anyway, and that's by the way. But it's a lot attached to Tobi Amusan's story that people don't know. Although some people have started digging into her life to find out who she is, what she does, where she's from, what she likes, what she don't like, and what did she go through to get to where, you know, she is today. But I promise you, and I can tell you, as somebody who has tread through the same path this young lady tread through before she got to where she is today, I can tell you categorically that what you just saw is not a fluke. It involves a lot of hard work, dedication, perseverance, and a lot of denial. Also, a lot of hide and seek, which some of you have heard about how her father didn't want her, going to the stadium to practice, or to be doing what she likes doing, which when you go deep down, you will also not blame the dad for doing what he did. Because most of us that came from this background, most especially from Nigeria, and have similar experience in different sports that we were engaged in, we know what it is. We know what we had to go through. But before we continue, without much ado, let's just watch the clip of Tobi Amusan when she won the 100 meters hurdles. And after that, I will continue with my narrative.
Kenny Harrison got a good start. It's pretty even at the moment. Now the American coming away, and so too Tobi Amusan in the middle. And Danielle Williams for Jamaica running well. Amusan from Harrison. That is a massive world record. Amusan is in green. Camacho Quinn second from the left. The Olympic champion's been left a little bit at the start by Armstrong. Amusan now beginning to come through. So too is Anderson. Tobi Amusan, look at the clock. I cannot believe it. The wind reading has transpired to mean it is not world record legal.
Now, we've all seen it, how Tobi Amusan won the world title and created a new record, right? That's a great feat, and that's a good thing. Everybody loves a success story, but a lot of people don't know what is behind the success story of so many people that you see. Uh, Being somebody with experience of what an average Nigerian child has to go through, most especially in the line of sport, before you can achieve anything, and then before you can get recognized. And then you see people celebrating you everywhere, all over the world. And everybody wants to be associated with you, including the so-called leaders. Yes, the so-called people in power that are supposed to oversee the affairs of state, the affairs of the country, and make sure that we have a good plan for youth development and sport. I mean, youth development, recreation, and sport. Who I can categorically tell you have all failed. All of them have failed. And if you look into their background, most of them that happens to be sportsmen and women before they became coaches or administrators of sports in Nigeria. Those of them that were sportsmen and women, they did not go through the same thing. In fact, most of them enjoy while they were growing up and participated in sports. They enjoy what you would call good attention and adequate care from the government then. They get allowances, traveling allowances. They don't have problem traveling to any part of the world where they have to go and, do whatever they have to do. But such is not the case when these people grew up and they became administrators. You would have thought that having passed through the same routine, the same schedule, they should have known better how to treat an upcoming sportsman or woman. But unfortunately, reverse is the case. All of them are what they are. It is what it is. All of them are greedy. All of them are corrupt. Because I cannot say there is a single one amongst them that is upright, or yes, they will help you every now and then if there's something in there for them. Like, let me use myself as a yardstick. Let me use myself as an example. I was into sport. Yes. I did athletics. I run marathons. Yes. And I do I think it's the 12,000 meters. And from there, I went into cycling. Because I remember then, just like yesterday, I was participating in one of the marathons at the stadium then when the cycling coach saw me. And after the race, he approached me and told me that he loved my endurance and everything about me, and he thinks I will be good for cycling. And he asked me to come check it out. So I went over and they gave me a bicycle and I trained with them. And then he told me that I did all right. I did okay, even far better than the people that were there already that I met there. And he would like for me to think about it. So, and that was the same day I registered to be a cyclist. And I started riding, which up to this present moment, I never regretted that action. At the same time, I was good in soccer. I play soccer. We call it football. So I play football, which is known as soccer in the US anyway. But I dedicated most of my time to the cycling. And for those of us that know about cycling, you will know that's a very rigorous exercise. It involves the use of all parts of your body. Even though you're sitting on the bicycle and you're moving your feet, you're riding, at the same time, you're using your head, your hand, and everything. And then your eyes, because you need to stay focused. Now, sometimes we go on training from morning and we may not return back till maybe late at noon. I mean, like we go out for training like early in the morning, like 6 a.m., while other people are still sleeping. Other people our age will still be sleeping. Sometimes we wake up 5. It depends on what we are preparing for. We wake up and we go out, on these trainings. And we come back late at noon. And when we get down from that bicycle and you look at our skin, you can virtually see salt on our skin. The sweat that comes out of our body turns into salt. And you can see that. I'm just trying to lay a background so that you know how much a lot of these young people in Nigeria go through before they achieve anything. And by the time I round this up, you will understand why I'm saying this and why I think everybody needs to know this. Because something is not right somewhere. And it seems as if people just want to celebrate when one out of probably 10,000 children out there in Nigeria that have put so much sweat into achieving success makes it. Then you see these politicians and all these big wigs that call themselves, leaders, people in power. They want to come out and hit on their chest, beat their chest, and be proud of the moment, as if they have done anything to help that individual to achieve that success. Now, probably if you sit Tobi Amusan down and ask her what she has gone through, it will not be far-fetched. Our story will not be too far away from what I'm about to tell you. Today, everybody is celebrating. The president is calling her. Her name is on the map. Everybody all over the world heard about her. And then she just did this rigorous exercise, running 100-meter hurdles, breaking an old record and creating a new record. And then she got what? $100,000. Yes. But on the same day, that same day, when Tobi Loba, or Tobi for short, Amusan, put Nigeria's name on the globe, put Nigeria's name on every tongue all over the world, everybody wondering and marveling at our success. And that success is attached to Nigeria, one way or the other. With all our hard work, I don't know if the Nigerian government is going to compensate her or if she's going to get anything. Let's hope she will. But I promise you, whatever they are going to give her, whatever she's going to get, cannot make up for the effort she put in to achieve and to attain what she did. Most especially at a time like this, when everything was going wrong and everything was going down the drain. But just one day, she put a smile on a lot of faces, which should matter a lot to anybody that really cares. That when everybody thought all hope was lost and everybody was downcasted, even the female soccer team that went to the Women African Cup of Nations, which they used to dominate, they crashed out. They didn't even win the third place. They came out in fourth position. And I believe most people were disappointed at that. But here comes this young girl from out of nowhere. And she created a new world record in athletics in the 100-meter hurdles, or women 100-meter hurdles. And she put a smile on everybody's face. Now, she got a prize that was attached to the event. And that prize is not from the Nigerian government or from anybody in Nigeria. On that same day, the news broke out that the bandits, the Boko Haram, the group that has been terrorizing Nigeria as a whole and kidnapped some people on a rail journey from, I think, Abuja to Kaduna. That's been about 6 months now or so. They came out and they were demanding for money from the Nigerian government, up to the tune of 4-point-something billion. Yes, you heard me right. They were demanding 4-point-something billion, if I'm not mistaken, before they will release about 40 people that they have in their possession. And that's my point right there. These so-called people, probably some of them are not even Nigerians, but they were invited into Nigeria by some people who are now acting and claiming not to know what is going on. And then they work hand in hand with some of their other brothers who are in Nigeria. They are demanding for 4-point-something billion naira. Why Tobi Amusan, who went out there, a Nigerian, born and bred, toiled day and night, put everything on the line, and probably she went to that competition, bearing some of the bills by herself. I can tell you that if you ask her one way or the other, she must have made some sacrifice to even get to that, tournament before she could achieve what she did. She probably slept somewhere on the floor at the airport, because these are things that people like us went through when we were in Nigeria and we were participating in sports. The corruption is so bad, it stinks to the high heavens that they don't even know where to stop. You see, the fact that you train for like 6 months, sweating it out, putting all your best into it, with all the bad equipment they give you to use for training, while your colleagues all over the world are using state-of-the-art, sport equipment. You are provided raggedy, unwanted stuff to train with. And even with that, because of the love, because of the passion, we still go ahead and we train. And mostly when you are into sports, you're actually working towards something. So if you're an athlete, it depends on what category you participate in. There's a record you're looking at that you either want to make that time or you want to beat that time. You don't want to make anything less than that time. That is your target. That is your goal. But the people that created those records that you are trying to either meet up with or beat, they have the best and world-class equipment. But here you are trying to emulate them, to either do what they did or break what they did. But you don't have what they have. So with all this poor equipment and stuff, you go out there, your blood, your sweat, and everything, you put it on the line. At the end of the day, you make you make the time. Even if you don't break the record, you make the time. You are ready. You are good to go. So you want to go and meet with the world champions. Or maybe you have 1 or 2 more events, which, how everything is categorized. And, like if you're from Africa, in some sports, you have to meet and contest against some other African counterparts. And then it depends on, where you come out. And then they choose, like, okay, only 2 or 3 countries are going to represent Africa in this tournament or whatever, whichever way. Now, so you have to travel around. and participate in a lot of events so that you can qualify. For me, my experience was in cycling. And for those of us that know about cycling, that takes a lot of strength and time. And for you to go and attend any tournament or any cycling competition, at least you would train for nothing less than, I'm talking about rigorous training. You would train for nothing less than 2 months, no matter how good you are, no matter how much sacrifice you want to make. At least you would train for 2 good months. So now you go through 2 months of suffering, putting your energy, your sweat, and everything into it, including you spending your own personal money now. And then at the end of the day, you are ready to go. You're ready to make your state proud. You're ready to go and make your state proud, and probably from there, make your country proud. And here comes the coaching crew. They've been telling you everything is fine. Then here comes the moment of truth. And they come out and say, oh, we're sorry. We didn't get allocation from the government for you to go for this tournament. We're so sorry. Or you've been told that maybe 10 people will be going for the competition. So you're all training and you're ready. And probably you have a trial and you happen to be among the 10 people that were chosen as the best from the trial. And you're happy, you're waiting that now I'm qualified, we're going. We're leaving on whatever day. But here comes the coaching crew. And they're telling you, oh, well, we're sorry. We didn't get enough money for 10 people. Guess what? Only 5 or 6 of you will be able to go. So we're going to drop 4 out of the 10. And what we are going to do now is we don't have any more time to do any other trial. So what we are going to do is we're going to go by the time from the last trial that you guys did. So the other 4 that are behind, we're dropping them. Lo and behold, you're looking at yourself like, well, did I just waste my time for 2 or 3 months training for this thing? Because think about it now. Probably if you would have known that they are not taking 10 people, they only need 6, maybe you would have putting in more effort to be in between 1 and 6, right? But here they come now playing that game. And then lo and behold, they are taking 6 people. Here's the juicy part right here. Just for you, few days after they might have left, to hear from a reliable source that the government actually gave them money for 15 cyclists. Remember now, they told you only 10 are going. And then at the end of the day, they cut it down to 6. But now you hear from a reliable source that they actually got money for 15 cyclists going for the event. And you are wondering like, okay, they only took 6. So what happened to the money that was allocated for the remaining 9 people? Who took the money? And who are the other 9 people that will be on the list to participate at the tournament? What I'm talking to you about right here, this was a conversation that came up not too long ago when somebody was asking me that, okay, I know you said you used to be a cyclist in Nigeria. So how come your country never qualified for cycling? And I told him my story. I said, yes, my country will never qualify, not because we are not good, but because of the corruption and the greediness of the coaching crew. And he asked me how and why. And then I told him how and why. And then I told him my story that, okay, with all the bad equipment, the bicycles that are not good and everything that they used to give us while we were training back home, while we were, and then we were trying to make up the time that every other cyclist all over the world are chasing. By then, I remember is one person we were all looking up to, that we were always all trying to either make his time or break his record. That was Lance Armstrong of the United States of America. Lance Armstrong was the world champion in cycling while we were growing up and doing cycling back home. So whatever new record Lance Armstrong creates, either at the Tour de France or any other cycling tournament, our coach will tell us, and whenever we go out for training, that's what we're chasing. That's what we want to do. And guess what? With all the rickety bike that are not up to world standard, we were making those records. Sometimes we were breaking them, and we know we were good enough, and we are fit to compete at the Tour de France level. Now, could you believe this? I happen to have a coach who represented Nigeria at the Tour de France when they were younger, because he told us himself. He showed us pictures, because he himself, he used to be a champion, and we're from the same state. That sounds funny to you, right? Now, this is where I'm actually going. Then they will tell you stories that, oh, well, government gave them money for 15 people. And then you will see a list of 15 people that travel for the tournament. Lo and behold, you will only see 6 real cyclists, 6 professional cyclists that you know are your colleagues. The other 9 names are all going to be strangers, people that you don't know, people you've never heard about their name before. I remember then, they used to have a chairman for each sports association at the national level. And I remember one year we had the late Reverend Moses Ilo of blessed memory. May God forgive him whatever his shortcomings are. I remember then that Reverend Moses Ilo, if you Google his name, you will see it right there. Moses Ilo, ILOH. He used to be the Cycling Federation chairman. And I remember there was a story one year that we were supposed to travel. And I learned that most of the names on the list that they took on that trip are his church members. His church members who are not cyclists. And then they took a few cyclists and put them in there. And guess what happened as soon as they got to the US? Now, they're supposed to bring cyclists to the US to participate in a, tournament. But because of his own greediness and because of their corruption, Reverend Moses Ilo, based on what I heard then, put the names of some of his church members on there and brought them to the US, together with the few cyclists that they chose. But guess what happened as soon as they got to the US? Some of the cyclists ran away. As soon as they landed, some of them ran away. Some of them are still in the US as we're talking now. They're married, they have children. They never went back to Nigeria. Now, when we had back home that they didn't participate in the event, that all the cyclists ran away, everybody was mad. Like, why would they do that? There are some of us that wanted to go. We didn't get the chance to go. So now they took them. Oh, they didn't participate. But later when we found out what happened, we couldn't blame them, because we are the one toiling day and night. We are the one, sweating it out, trying to put that country's name on the map. But you have all these greedy old men that are taking advantage of our sweat. Some of them, when you do well and there's a scholarship that that you're supposed to get, they will use their position to get it for their own children and change your name, replace your name with their children or their relatives' name, Some of them that happens to be pastor, they will bring their church members and put their name on the list. Take your name out. Because guess what? You don't have a chance to get to the top to actually see what is going on. All they are going to do is to come back and tell you a story and say, oh, we didn't get funds to travel. Just for you to hear later on. Even sometimes they are so perfect, you would never know that they actually got the money and they took some people and travel. Sometimes it would take months. Sometimes it will be a year before you get to hear, like, who told you they didn't travel? They got money, they travel. But by then it's too late. There's nothing you can do. So I know somebody like Tobi Amusan, if someone gets to sit down with her and ask her questions, she will reveal a lot to you. But today, everybody is celebrating. Everybody is saying, yeah, Nigeria is great, Nigeria is good. Oh, she outran everybody. She broke a record, she created a new record. But nobody knows what she has been through. Nobody knows how much sacrifice personally she has made. And to think that she went out there within those few seconds, she has done a whole lot more than what all these hoodlums have done for Nigeria in the many years they've been sitting and parading the corridors of power. You and I know. Let's wait and see. What is she going to get out of it? What is Nigeria going to do for her? Nothing. Because I don't think there's anything that they can give her that is too much for her. Because if terrorists, if bandits could be kidnapping people and demanding for 4-point-something billion naira, which I know they are going to get it. If they don't get it, they are going to kill those people. So I know they are going to get it. But somebody like Tobi Amusan that will go out there and use her strength, energy, and everything she has got to put Nigeria's name on the world map, to put Nigeria's name on every tongue all over the world, she will not get compensated the right way. Rather, I know some people will be plotting right now. There will be some old fools already thinking about how they are going to mess her life up. There will be some old fools sitting somewhere right now thinking about how they are going to appropriate money and say they want to give it to Tobi Amusan just for them to take the largest part of it, the huge sum of money out of it for themselves. They're probably planning right now that, oh, let's compensate her. Let's give her this much. But guess what? The larger part of that money is going to go back to them. She will probably get a handshake and they will tell her, probably if she's lucky, they will promise her a house in Abuja or somewhere, or in Lagos or Port Harcourt or somewhere, which she may not get for many years. That is if she gets it at all. We know people that who are into sport and did so good for Nigeria, and they promise them things which they never get it up to date. So it's a lot attached to what Tobi Amusan did than the credit she's getting. She has done a lot more than even the person they call the president of that country today. Because when Nigeria's name has gone down the drain, when Nigeria's name is worth nothing, when Nigeria's name is not even worth a bathroom tissue, Tobi Amusan came out from nowhere and put Nigeria on the map again for people to be talking about Nigeria. For all the young children out there back home in Nigeria, whatever part of Nigeria you are from, that you have ambition, that you have dreams, Tobi Amusan just rekindle your hope that you can make it. Tobi Amusan just rekindle the hope of so many youths in Nigeria and also in Africa, that yes, out of nothing, out of all this hula baloo, you can make something. If God with you, you can make something, because it takes the grace of God to attain and to achieve what Tobi Amusan just achieved. If not for God, if not the grace of God, I wonder if she could have done what she did. Because like I said, if you sit her down and ask her, you will probably be surprised at what you hear that she had to go through, she had to experience to get to where she is today. Even on that journey to that tournament, if you sit her down and ask her, let me remind you the likes of Emmanuel Amuneke, of the Super Eagles in their heydays. Remember him? That was a man that did a lot on the soccer field for Nigeria, right? And I think during that process, something happened to him. I think he got injured. This was somebody that was playing in the Premier League, right? But came home to play for his country. He got injured. He was abandoned for a very long time. He didn't get the right treatment. You remember Bright Omokaro and the rest of them. Some of them sustained very serious injuries, as bad as broken bones, and they were abandoned on their hospital beds. And if you go to find out, some monies were allocated for their treatment, but somebody carted the money away, didn't remember to take care of them. They left them on their own. Not too long ago, we all saw one of the old players who happens to have served Nigeria and be amongst the people that put Nigeria on the global map when you talk about soccer. When people said they saw him, it was like it was doing like a car wash thing or something, or begging for money. Remember when people came out and they were begging that people should help him? And then what's his name? This young chap, the Super Eagles captain, Ahmed Musa, came out and gave him some money. And then some other people came out and gave the guy some money too. These are people that have done a lot for Nigeria. What am I driving at? I'm still talking about how these old fools that call themselves leaders, they sit right there, appropriate money to themselves, steal money. There are children that are useless, not useful to anybody or that country. They take the money that they're supposed to use to develop everything, like youth and sport development and stuff like that. They take it and waste it on their children, to send their children abroad just to enjoy life. While at the end of the day, these so-called children of theirs are useless. They can't do anything good for that country or for anybody either. And then the parents themselves that call themselves leaders, they do the same thing. But the people that are toiling day and night, putting their sweat out there, trying their best, and then also trying not to go the other way, not to do bad things that will tarnish the image of the country, then they come back with all this glory, the golden fleece, put the country's name on the map. Everybody knows the country. Everybody's happy. People back home are happy. They are rejoicing that at least something good came out of this place. This is our son. This is our daughter. Look at the story of Anthony Joshua. See? The guy left Britain to come back to Nigeria to beg them that they should allow him to represent Nigeria at the Olympics. They turned him down and said no. At the end of the day, what happened? He became a champion. And then he became somebody they all want to celebrate. They want to invite him to come to the Senate floor so they can congratulate him. These are things that we're talking about. To anybody that will come across this video, most especially if you are a foreigner and you are into sport development and you are looking for talent, I'm telling you right now, I can beat my chest. I promise you, you go to Nigeria, just make sure you go through the right source. Find the people that can guide you and help you. And I promise you, you will locate and get a lot of talents that once you bring them out of that slum, once you bring them out of that gallow they call a country and bring them to this part of the world, put them to whatever sport they are doing. And I promise you, within a year or two, you will see their name will be out there. Their name will be up there. Not too long ago, probably about 5-6 years ago, when things started going bad, there was this young chap that his whole family and himself, they seek asylum to come to the US. And when they got to the US, they just came and they came by, through asylum. So they were not really living fine. Neither were they living all that good back home in Nigeria. But guess what? This guy was a hidden talent. He's a great chess player. And I know a lot of great chess players like that. I know a lot of great soccer players like that back home, wasting away right now. And when I sit down and I look at how things are run out here in the US, I see how their youth sports program is. I myself, I'm a soccer coach here in the US. So I know how the program runs. And I know how some college coaches go around scouting for players and all that. You've seen the controversy lately in America about some children that don't live in certain neighborhood of different zip code, but they still put them in those schools and claim, they live in that vicinity, which became an issue after they won, after they became champion. That tells you a lot about how much importance is attached to the sport and development of young children. That's something America has. Like, America has not been doing great in soccer, but watch out. In the next few years, you are all going to see how America is going to come out. Being a soccer coach here in the US, I've seen it. And I can tell you right now, by the time America comes out in soccer, it will be hard for any country to win them because they went back. They have a program laid out already. And it starts from a very young age. Like I said, I coach children myself. I coach children soccer, both male and female. And I can see the development and the way it's going right now. Very soon, you are going to see America will dominate soccer all over the world because the program is already there. They are building all these young chaps. They are building them. And by the time all these young chaps come up with all the skills that they have acquired, the world will marvel at what they will do. And I remember back home when we were growing up, Nigeria used to have such programs. Because I remember when we were in high school, even at that level, the schools, you go around, you play against each other, they call it Principal Cup. The head of the high schools are called principals. So they call it Principal Cup. And then we go around and play each other. Whatever locality or vicinity you are, if your school wins, then you travel and go to maybe another local government. If you are the champion from one local government, they already know who you are going to face. So you go face the champion from another local government until you all play around, and whichever school wins at the end of the day comes out as the state champion. That's how it used to be before they came around and destabilized everything because of their greediness. And then they destabilized everything. And when they had such program, youth development, you don't get to see this much crime because everybody was engaged. People like us, we were engaged in sport. In the evening, we would be at the stadium. I remember most of the ladies that I went to the same primary school, elementary school with, and some of the boys too. We will all meet at the stadium in the evening. Some will be playing soccer on the soccer field, while some of us that chose to be athlete, we go in the main bowl and we will be training. We will be training, either you have a coach or not. We will all be training in there. And then we have people that are already into professional sports, all hanging around. Like, I'm from Kwara State. So that Kwara State Stadium used to be one of the best stadiums in Nigeria before they turn it to whatever they turn it to now. So I remember those days. You go into that stadium, you go down in the main bowl and go on the track. You see people like Falila Ogunkoya. Yeah, what's her name? Shonaike. You see all these people, and it makes you want to, participate, because when you see the way people respect them, the way people look at them, and everything going on, your mind is not towards anything that will mess up your chances of making it. So you're not thinking about you want to smoke, you want to drink, or you want to go around, and be a bandit or destabilizing the peace of the neighborhood. No. All you are thinking is you are looking at all these great athletes and you're thinking about how you're going to be great yourself, how you're going to become a great athlete yourself. That is how we grew up. That is what we knew. And things were still okay then. So there was nothing like Boko Haram bandit. Where would you see it? Who has time for such? There's nothing like Fulani bandit. But look at it. Because of their greediness, because they cannot manage anything, because they cannot keep a good structure, they destroy, disrupt, and destabilize all these great structures that were there. Because all they care about is looting. All they care about is what they will get for themselves and for their useless children. And then they mess everything up for the rest of us. A lot of kids are back there now struggling. And like I said, they are great potentials. They just need somebody to get them out of that God-forsaken place and bring them into the limelight. And I promise you, within few months, you will see the best in them. Sometimes I go online, I see all these young children from all over the world. They have their videos out there. They tell you, oh, this is the fastest 10-year-old in the world. This is the fastest 10-year-old girl in the world in 100 meters. Oh, this is the fastest marathon runner in the world. And I just look and I laugh. Like, no. I know a whole lot of children back home who will outrun these kids. The only problem they have is they don't have the same privilege that all these other kids have. Have we not seen it? When you take a child from Yoruba land, I'm talking about academicals now. Let's talk about academic excellence as we're talking about sport, so that we don't just focus on sport. Talk about anything. All these young people back home, they are ready, they are there. They are prepared, their mind is focused. They only get distracted because there is no encouragement. They only get distracted because there is no good program to show them or to push them and lure them on to do better. I remember still back in our days, we have stuff like school debates where we go around the schools, debate each other. That helps the children to develop their brain, skills, even your presentation, your speech and stuff. It don't necessarily mean that is what you are going to become at the end of the day, but at least everything works together. It helps you in developing your brain and then in developing your skills. There is no wasted knowledge. Anything you do, everything you do, at the end of the day, all of them still comes to play one role or the other in your life. Like today, I tell people, whatever I am today, whatever I'm doing, it's not by accident. It's because I've been prepared. And I thank God for that. Because I still count myself lucky. I count myself to be one of the few chosen ones that are lucky to, you know, to finally discover the reason why God, you know, took them on a journey. Because I believe that God actually took me on a journey and showed me some things, prepared me for everything I'm doing right now. And that's why I kept telling people it's going to be hard for anybody to derail me or to make me lose focus. Because I've been through whatever would have derailed me or whatever would have caused me to lose focus. God has already made sure that I went through all that. So it's a lot behind the Tobi Amusan story from what people are seeing and saying. She has made a lot of sacrifice before she got to where she got to. But a lot of people now are tapping into her glory, tapping into the limelight that God gave her, including the rogues that call themselves leaders, that don't know their left from their right. All of them are tapping into that now. They will be boasting and raising their shoulders now that, yeah, she's from Nigeria. As if they made sure that they provided everything she needed to achieve what she did. No, they didn't. They didn't even know she existed until that moment when she broke the record and created a new world record. That was the time, the moment she became a living being to them. And God forbid, I pray nothing happens to her. If tomorrow something happens and she needs just a little help, they will be nowhere to be found. None of them will say a thing. You will not hear from them again. That's who they are, and that's what they are. Hence, everything you see going on right now, because for some of us, we know there are better ways. We know there is a better way. There is another way around this. We just need the right set of tools, the right set of people, with the right set of law and order, and everything will be smooth. And the whole world will marvel. The whole world will marvel at Africa. Before then, the whole world will marvel at the Yoruba land. And once we get ourselves situated, the whole world will marvel at Africa. Because Africa is coming out. Africa is emerging soon. But first, the Yoruba nation must emerge. Now, this channel is not for issues or topics on Yoruba nation per se. Every now and then I might mention something about the Yoruba nation or say something to that effect. And like what I'm doing now, this is just like a test run, because normally as time goes on, with everything I'm saying right now, I will have an interviewer. Somebody will be asking me questions, because that will make it even better for me to focus and, because that will make it more detail oriented when a question is being asked and I'm answering that question directly. Unlike what I'm doing right now, that I'm just putting everything together, trying to, break down the story behind the success you see with Tobi Amusan. Being somebody that I can call myself an insider, I know how it is in sport, most especially the Nigerian angle. Yes, I know what she did. What she just attained was not an easy task. She has given a lot to get to where she is. She has given a lot to attain what she just attained. But all what people are seeing was this great girl that just came out here and did this, outran everybody and created this new record. No. It is more than that. There is more to her story than what you are seeing. Forget even about the aspect of the story of her dad not wanting her to go for training and her mommy having to sneak her around. No, forget that. That's another aspect. But there are still more other aspects which she might not even ever open her mouth to say to anybody, because that's another thing now. There's a code of silence on all these things they do, all these wrongs they do. And if you don't believe me, go back online. There was this radio station in Nigeria, Fresh FM Ibadan, and they have a program that they always do every Tuesday. It's called Let's Talk About It. I think last year or 2 years ago, there was a guy that was brought on that program. He happens to be a sportman. I really can't remember what he does. I think either he does judo, karate, or he was or maybe he was a dancer, ballet dancing or something like that. And because of their corruption, you know, in Nigeria we have this sporting event we call what do they call it again? It's not the Nuga game. Even the Nuga games that was created for, the university athletes, Nigerian university games, or the all polytechnics game, NIPOGA, Nigerian Polytechnic Games. Can somebody tell me if they still do all those now? These are things that they have all these structures then when we were growing up. You hear about, oh, the stadium is filled up because the Nuga games is going on. Oh, the stadium is filled up because the Nipoga games are going on. And what these old fools fail to realize is that all this help to build the nation because it helps to shape the youth. It helps to keep the youth focused. And it helps to show the world. Look at all over the world now. You see a lot of Nigerians. Now they shout about Ronaldo, they shout about Ronaldinho, they shout about all these great players from every other part of the world. And what most of them don't know is that they themselves could have been in there playing the same game had it been their government have a very good program to develop them in sports. A lot of them have the talent. Even a lot of them have better talent than all these people they are watching on TV, wasting their time, wasting their money, wasting their data. Why they could as well have been on that field playing and making that type of money. Look at what's his name? Huh? Look at Manny. Go and watch his story. And look at the type of sacrifice he had to make it. But look at him now. He's a hero in his country. And he's doing a lot for his people. Even better than what the government would do for them. This is just one episode out of many series because this discussion does not end here. On my next episode, I will continue with this discussion from where I'm stopping today. And if you come across this video and you have not subscribed to my channel, I will implore you, please subscribe to the channel, help spread the news, spread the word. And also what we'll be doing on this channel, whenever there's a sporting event that I feel like it will interest people, I'm going to try to bring you videos of live events, most especially sporting events. And then we will talk about things that affect our life most especially things that will affect an African child. And I'll bring it down to Nigeria. Like I said, until we actually get the Yoruba nation, you might most often hear me use the name Nigeria for right now. But when the time comes, when the time is right, then we will go back to the actual name, whatever name, that the Yoruba people will go by, which I believe strongly is not going to be too long. I know it's knocking on the door right now with everything going on. So until I come back your way, I remain your friend, Mike Ola. Have a blessed night. Thank you.